Up next on Dr. Nancy Knows is Doug Caporrino, biochemist, nutritionist to the stars. Boy, does he have a story to tell you. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Dr. Nancy, your medical celebrity doctor, and this is Dr. Nancy Knows, the talk show that brings awareness, inspiration, and hope to many communities across our country, uniting the nation, bridging the gap of disparity. We do that not only through my 25 years of experience, but through individuals that are experts in their field of industry come on the show to tell us what they're doing to impact their local circle of influence. Be sure to tune in on drnancyknows.com, Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo, Roku TV, and Amazon. We're on many platforms out there. Today's guest is Doug Caporrino. You may already know him. He's a celebrity. He has treated many celebrities in nutrition. He's a biochemist as well. He's a best-selling author. His book is Tell Me, Teach Me, Heal Me. Doug, it's so nice to have you on the show again.
Dr. Nancy, it's a pleasure to be back, and I'm blessed to be back as well.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You know, we are going to be doing this recurring theme with Doug, so you better be sure to tune in to what we're doing here on Dr. Nancy Knows. We're impacting people's lives and bringing awareness, and no doubt you have a wealth of knowledge that I'm so blessed and honored to be a part of. And together there's strength in numbers. And tell us what you've been up to lately, Doug.
Well, I've had an interesting journey for the past few months. As of the end of September, beginning of October, I developed COVID. And unbeknownst to me, it kind of got a head start on me. So I wasn't able to attack it with the protocols that I normally would with a lot of my clients. So I wound up in the hospital, wound up in the emergency room, wound up being intubated a second time because the first tube developed a leak 3 days in, and I developed subcutaneous emphysema. So, and I fought this from the beginning because I know what the odds are of people, once they're intubated, of coming off a ventilator. So needless to say, I was on for 7 days and came through it with flying colors. So to this point today, I've gained back 25 of 40 pounds that I lost within 2 weeks. And basically, my stamina, strength, everything else is recuperating far beyond what doctors would even have imagined. My only setback right now is my voice. That's coming back. There was a little damage done to a vocal cord when putting the ventilator in. So, but all good, all blessed, and ready to take on a bigger meaning and a bigger mission in life.
Well, happy early Christmas to you. I mean, God is definitely a blessing, and sometimes you have to really go through it to know, when you look back on it, what were your takeaways with that. And truly, you are here for a reason. There's so much work to be done. You do a lot anyway. Your heart is super big, and there's so much more, Doug.
Yeah,
so much more.
Very true to that. And again, this has been such a learning curve for me. So the protocols that I was using on clients before me getting this are totally different protocols that I'm using now. In fact, last time at my pulmonologist, when I started to say what I was doing, my pulmonologist said, wait a minute, time out. Let me bring in all the other doctors so that they can hear what you're doing. And I literally ended up giving a 30-minute seminar to the doctors saying, hey, you need to be doing this with your patients, do this, combine this and this with them, and you'll get that much better of a return when they're starting to do their recuperation.
So you are a walking testimony and credible in the things that you say and do. You've been through it, and now you're developing new protocols. I mean, how great is that to bring more awareness on this pandemic with COVID that we have, and maybe even change the way that we treat it so that individuals won't have to, suffer and go through this. Many lives have been lost, and I do want to tell you as a medical doctor that the chances after getting intubated with COVID of survival are slim to none.
Yeah, under 10%. So they're slim to none, you're right. And you're exactly right. This has all been done for a reason, because now I'm here, I'm a living, walking testimonial to actually give people hope after, post-COVID, as to what they can do for their recuperation. right now doctors aren't doing much. They're sending people off to some therapies, but not the kind of therapies that can really impact and really make a change and really make you rebound in a short period of time. And I've done it, I'm doing it, and will continue to do it now with my clients moving forward. So again, for the grace of God, He's kept me here for a reason, and I'm going at this full charge now, as well as teaming up with you. So this dynamic duo right now is going to be like 1 and 1 equals 5. So get ready, world, we're coming.
Exponential growth, let me tell you, and awareness. So, when two people get together and decide to make an impact in this country and really mean it, and it comes from a higher being, beneficial to all is the end result, definitely. And, Doug, we've had some backstory conversations as well, and, new protocols are coming out of what you've experienced too, and, what is happening right now is it's certainly life-changing for you, but it's going to be so impactful to many others who listen in, tune in, follow us. And, you've got something coming out as well. Like, tell us what your latest project is.
Yeah, so my latest book, again, it was God-written, you could say, is Tell Me, Teach Me, Heal Me, How COVID Affected My Life and Yours. So it's going to give people hope. It's going to tell a whole incredible story about the culmination of COVID, where it came from, all of the different drugs and pharmaceutical companies, how they got involved, why they got involved, but more importantly, what people can do to not only prevent it, but to rebound from it once you do get it. So there's a tremendous amount of possibilities in the book, and I think people are really going to find it enlightening to know that, hey, there is hope, and I don't have to be on oxygen for 6 months, for 8 months. I don't have to look and feel like this with brain fog, body aches, and everything else that goes along with it. I'm proof, trust me. My doctors spoke, offline all of the time, thinking I wasn't going to make it, and trust me, I was coming back with a vengeance. So nothing was going to keep me from my audience.
So those symptoms are long haulers symptoms is what Doug is referring to as well. And, we've also had this conversation that you had with one of your doctors stating that the state of your well-being going into something like this will determine your outcome as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally true. And one of the first questions I got asked all the time was, how did this happen to you? And for me, it was the perfect storm. I was taking care of my stepchild who had COVID. I was up 3 to 4 nights, no sleep, put my immune system into the tank. So I was ripe. So it was a culmination of 4 or 5 different things that just drove my immune system down. Again, I didn't get a head start enough on the ivermectin, which I'm still a big proponent of, but again, that protocol has changed drastically as far as the amounts, and especially because it's dose dependent, depending on the person's weight. So there's a whole lot of variables that go along with it. So again, a lot of great information that you and I have spoken about that are going to literally change and save people's lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Including a monoclonal antibody therapy as well.
Absolutely.
Now, the other thing too is with COVID, there was another little blessing in disguise. You getting COVID, and you've come on the show openly to talk about your congenital heart this defect and what drove you into your career and lifestyle and that sort of thing as well. But tell us what little miracle happened while you were in the hospital with COVID.
Divine intervention. So when I was still living in Florida, as a preventative measure, like I do with all my clients, I always encourage them to go in for what's called the cardiac calcium score, which is really the most definitive test to determine whether or not you have any kind of risk for cardiac disease and whether or not you have any plaque. Well, my numbers came back slightly elevated, so I encouraged my cardiologist in Florida to, hey, put me in the cath lab. Let's see exactly, what we're dealing with here. Let's see if there is a blockage, how much of a blockage there is, and then deal with it. And he said, look, no need to go into the cath lab. We'll just do a nuclear stress test. We'll do an echocardiogram. They ran the standard heart tests on me, and I passed them all with flying colors. Okay, so finally I said, would you please put me in the cath lab? He goes, come back and see me in a year. I move here to Arizona. We find a great cardiologist, thanks to my beloved Kim. And sure enough, she says, I'll put you into the cath lab. I come down with COVID, wind up in the emergency room. As they're getting ready to vent me, I have a heart attack. Divine intervention, right place at the right time. So they end up stabilizing me until they can transfer me to the heart hospital. They put me into the cath lab at the heart hospital. 100% blockage. Okay? So they stent me, again, divine intervention, no damage to my heart. All the doctor said, had I not been in the cardio shape that I was in coming into this, I would have never lasted. Would have never lasted the weight loss, nevertheless the heart attack as well. So once again, by the grace of God, I'm here for a reason, a bigger purpose, and we're coming at you.
We are coming at you. This Christmas miracle here, it was destined to happen. Nothing could have gotten in the way of it. You know, when I talked to Doug after this was all over, I was thinking, he's going to either come out of it one of two ways. He's going to just chill and relax, or he's going to come out fighting and blazing. And you see, he's fighting and blazing.
I'm leaving skid marks, trust me. You know, I can't begin to tell you, first and foremost, the outpouring of love and prayers, literally from around the world. Italy, Germany, the eastern states and continents. Just amazing. And it was just one of those things that was so incredibly humbling to me. Because like yourself, we're givers and we're caretakers our whole entire life. I don't know what it is to take. And now all of a sudden, you're put into a position where you're getting all this amazing, amazing love. And it's just, I literally cried like a baby. And I just said, okay, it's time. It's time to take in that energy. And once I compile that energy, we're coming. We're coming strong. So it's a bigger purpose. It's a bigger mission. You know what it's like, and that's why we're teaming up.
That's exactly right. So again, like I said at the top of the show, Doug and I are teaming up, and Doug's going to have a recurring segment here on Dr. Nancy Knows. Going into the new year, you know how everyone wants to make New Year's resolutions, join gyms, and eat healthy, and you know, they just want to reevaluate themselves for the new year. What kind of advice can you give all of us that are listening and thinking about going into the new year, living our best life?
Yeah, that's a great question. And you know, and I get that this time of the year, every single year, for the past 40 years that I've been doing this. So the easiest thing that I can tell people is that set yourself up for attainable goals and do it on a weekly and monthly basis. Don't look too far ahead, because then you start to set yourself up for failure. So again, small attainable goals. Don't think of it as, look, I want to get rid of 20, 30 pounds. Notice I use the words get rid of, not lose. You never want to use the word lose, because it goes into the subconscious. Just like if you lose your keys, you'll wind up wanting to find them and get them back. Same thing goes with weight. So you want to get rid of. You want to get rid of some weight? That's fine. But again, short attainable goals. Things that you know are going to be realistic and that you're not going to set yourself up for failure. That's number one. The other thing is, don't go into a full exercise regimen like a gangbuster. You know, if you're somebody who hasn't done anything for 15 years, 20 years, okay, think about how long it took you to get out of shape, okay? So it's going to take you a good amount of time to get back into shape. Baby steps. And that's what I told myself coming out of this illness. Baby steps. Each day, if I could walk a quarter mile longer, if I could breathe a little bit deeper, okay, those are all big wins for me. And that's what I look at. And I say the same thing to people. When you're approaching the new year, make better choices. And I always say the most important thing that you can say to yourself is, once you pick something up, before you eat it or drink it, does this do me any good? And if you just say that little phrase to yourself, and if it's something that's bad, and you can answer no, then you'll probably put it down and make a better choice.
That's excellent, excellent. So I know that you have a goal. I think it's coming up for this year, and it has something to do with, a sporting event. Yes, tell the viewers, listeners, what is your next challenge?
So again, my cardiologist is blown away by the strides that I've made so far. So she said, where do you want to be? What are you looking at? And I said, well, May I'm turning 62. I said, so it's either going to be another triathlon or a half Ironman. So she goes, well, wait a minute here, just run that by me again. What's a half Ironman? I said, well, it's a 1.2 mile swim. I said, it's a 56 mile bike. I said, and that's a half a marathon at the end. I said, and the way that I'm progressing right now, if the good Lord permits me, I said, I'll be out there with a number on. I said, and doing it for all post-COVID patients. So count on it.
That's amazing. So listen, you here at Dr. Nancy Knows, we are just making a difference here, and we're impacting so many lives. And we start with our own personal testimonies. And honestly, if we can talk about it and come through it, so can you. So can you. You're not alone.
Absolutely. Look, the one thing that I have found about this is that everybody thinks that their illness is unique to them. And you know as well as I know, it never is. When you start to dig deep and peel back the layers of the onion, you find that there's many people with similar symptoms and that went through the very same things that you went through yourself. So my feeling, my journey, my passion now is to say, hey, I've been there, I've done that. I did this before. I didn't have to do it again, but for whatever reason, I guess I just had to. So this time I'm here to say, for all the people that have suffered through COVID, I'm here to support you. I'm here to bring you new protocols and to let you know that there's hope on the horizon for full-blown recovery, not partial recovery, not a 50% recovery, a full recovery.
You heard it right here through Doug Caporrino, a living, walking, breathing testimony post-COVID survival.
Amen to that.
Love to have you on the show. Always a pleasure.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And again, the way our energy plays off of one another, if the viewers can hear this and see this, they can only imagine what they're going to get when they visit us in person. Because the kind of care that we give people and when we combine with patients, it's like bar none. You won't find this anywhere else.
Absolutely. You can't create this somewhere in a laboratory. You know, you either have it or you don't, and it's passion and it's drive, and we love you. We love what we do, and hopefully you can feel that when you experience us.
Absolutely, yeah. Amen to that.
So listen, it is not only what Dr. Nancy knows, but it's who she knows. We'll talk next time. Bye for now.